discuss a couple things. It's funny because it looks as if I'm coming on here more and more discussing how I feel about what's happening in the world. Now I want to see if Facebook is showing me live. Are they? I don't know. So just give me a minute. Wait for a few people to come on here. Doesn't look like it's posting, the bastards. Fucking. Oh boy. Let me just see here. 1 second, please. Sorry, guys. Doesn't look like it's posting. Let me just check on my phone. Maybe it's on there. If anybody from Facebook is on here, let me see. Anyone there? 3 people watching, but are they from Facebook? Probably not. Because I have a 24-hour ban on one of my accounts. Let me just see if that's the case. Okay. Hey, hello. Hey, YouTube family, Twitter, DLive, wherever you guys are coming from. So I just wanted to talk about a couple things today that's happening around Canada. They're having more increased lockdown measures in Vancouver, in Manitoba, which I kind of discussed yesterday, and now they're having more lockdowns in Ontario. Remember, all of this is for a virus that has a 99 on YouTube, right on. This is for a virus that has a 99.60% survival rate. I said it so many thousands and thousands and thousands of times. I'm pretty much sick of hearing myself the way I speak. It's just after a while, I get tired of hearing myself. Too many messages. Here's the thing. I just don't even know where to start with this stuff sometimes. Let me just start with Manitoba, I guess. I think I've already done the video on that, but I want to show you just some of the pictures that people have taken from Manitoba. Copy image location, and I'm just going to put it over here and show you. They're basically, you cannot purchase any non-essential items. And I'll show you that right now. This should not be too long of a video, but you know me, I ramble and blah, blah, blah. I just can't stop talking for some reason. Okay, so look at this. Look at this. Okay, so everything's all plasticed up. What do you think that's about? Do you think it's to protect the merchandise? No. It's to discourage you from going into those areas because these are considered non-essential items. This is the same situation they had in they had this situation in the UK. I can't remember what city, but now it's come to Manitoba. Let me just read. It says, people that don't live in Manitoba, consider this your wake-up call that I wish people here realized a month ago. Here is the reality we have this morning. We can't have anyone in our homes. That's including here in British Columbia. And when we shop for our groceries, there is no longer a chance to grab a craft item that may keep us occupied or a gift for someone who has gone out of the way to help us. No purchasing Christmas decor to lighten the mood inside our homes, and no flowers to give a neighbor, and no end date on this. This could be a long-term thing. To me, that's very self-explanatory. To the people watching this, to the people who think this is about a virus, what logical explanation do you have in regards to them not blocking you and telling you what you can and cannot purchase? They can consider this type of stuff non-essential and so forth. So we can look at this from a couple different ways, and then I'll start now. First of all, it's none of their business what a person purchases. You're locking people in their homes. You're taking away so many different parts of their regular life. So if they're sitting at home and they want to purchase a coloring book, if they want to buy a computer or a television or flowers or even clothing, they can't do that in Manitoba. They cannot do that in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and all throughout the province of Manitoba. This is right. JF Howe has it exactly right. This is about crushing the human spirit. And I'm every day that this continues, I'm at more, not a loss for words, but just almost in shock and in sadness that my fellow humans and just other people just can't see what I see, and it baffles my mind. Like I've said in other videos, people have to stop making excuses. Why do you think they did this? Oh, it's because they don't want you to stay in the store too long. It has to be as quick as possible, so they don't want you, wasting time buying things that you don't really need. This is not their job, okay? This is absolutely not their job. And secondly, you're not purchasing these products, meaning the store is losing a large amount of money, even though they're still following the guidelines. So that means if you're not buying coloring books, if you're not buying computers and stuff like that, that means people are going to be either losing their jobs or going to have less money because, of course, you're not purchasing those computers, you're not buying flowers, you're not buying anything that's considered non-essential, toys. So that will trickle down. That'll have a trickle down effect with the economy because, of course, all those different businesses will have less people purchasing the products. Yeah, well, I know it's just in Manitoba now, but whatever happens in other places always comes to where you're located. So it doesn't matter if you're in Vancouver or Toronto or Calgary or Copenhagen, Denmark, or, Cape Town, South Africa. Everything across the world basically happens. Welcome aboard, D Canuck. It is ridiculous. It's very ridiculous. But like I've said before, it has to get very blatant. It has to get very ridiculous and very stupid until a lot of people start realizing, you know what, my friends? You know what, my family? I've been screaming from the rooftops for 9 months. It's going to be 10 months in about a week. I've been talking about this crap since March, and it continues because it doesn't. People just follow orders, and I'm not blaming them, but it has to get really ridiculous, and then people are going to they're going to get pissed off. If you went into a store, would you not be mad about this? I would, obviously, but we're the enlightened ones. We understand what's going on. A lot of people still don't understand what the hell's going on here. They just can't see it. But these kind of things are a wake-up call. Another big wake-up call that will probably happen eventually is going to be curfews. Now, if you combine both of those together, it doesn't make any sense. First of all, curfews in California from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. all throughout California. Some places are not following that mandate. Orange County and also Sacramento apparently have not and are not following the mandates from Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. Let me just talk to you in a minute, Aura. I want to speak to you about that. So, how does it make sense to have a curfew? Like I've said in other videos, does a virus come out at 10:01 p.m.? Is that logical to people? No, it's not. It's the same thing with what's going on in Manitoba, where they're telling you what you can and can't purchase. Ohio has a curfew as well, or Ohio doesn't enable you to purchase non-essential products. Spring Rain, please reply to that. So that's what people need to realize and understand. But unfortunately, like I said, it had to get bad, and it has to get bad in order for people to realize what's going on here, because everyone just everyone's in a trance. They're like halfway there, like, oh, I don't know what's going on. I just, whatever, I'll leave it to the experts, this and that. Don't worry. I don't want to worry about, there's a curfew in Ohio. So there's a curfew in Ohio now, a curfew in California. There was a curfew in Australia, and there was a curfew, I think. There is a curfew in France and Ireland. Curfews don't make sense. 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. and okay. So, I'm at a loss for words for a lot of this stuff, and it's just mind-boggling that it continues. But I've been reading about this kind of stuff, conspiracy stuff, as people like to call it, for like many decades. So obviously, I'm ahead of the curve. I didn't know obviously all this stuff, but a lot of this stuff I expected. I expected there to basically be a situation where they would try to change our society. I did not envision it this way. No one did, of course. But what you're seeing here, when they start talking about the Great Reset, Justin Trudeau, and Agenda 21 and Agenda 30, it's a great time to reset the economy and all this strange talk that why would you talk about this kind of stuff in the middle of a supposed pandemic where there's, they're telling us that there's people are going to get very sick, everyone's going to die and all this. Just the fear porn is out of control, right? So we're in the beginning stages of basically their New World Order system. Even though we've been in it for decades, now it's coming down to like their actual end game goal written about in the book of Revelation. So that's what's happening at the present time. I just want to see if I want to get some of those pictures from Manitoba. One sec here. I know I posted it. The hell is it? Pretty sure I had it somewhere. Let me see here. Yeah, I thought I had those pictures, but let me just take a look at this one. Superstore. I just want to see the Walmart thing. One second. I'm going to type in Walmart, Manitoba, Walmart, Manitoba, non-essential items. And I think there's a screenshot of this stuff, so I'm just going to post that. Okay, here we go. Copy link. Copy image address. Show you this as well. This is what we're dealing with here. So what does it say here? So products such as personal hygiene items, cleaning supplies, baby and child care products, hardware and household appliances are what allowed? Where does it say what's allowed? Let me see here. Let me just look here. One sec, guys. Can't seem to find it. In any case, it is out of control. It's for our safety, of course. Yeah, everything's for our safety. They care about us so much. Meanwhile, abortions have been happening since the early 70s, killing millions of unborn kids. But yeah, it's for our safety. 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. in Ohio, curfew. I have friends and family in Manitoba. The fear is real there. So what fear are you talking about, Aura? Fear of the virus or fear of this whole pandemic? I have fear of the pandemic. I have zero fear of the virus. I never have. I've been going to lockdown marches in Vancouver since April. And of course, never got sick and never had a problem. Shaking people's hands and stuff like that never got me sick, and it never will, because of course all of this is not what we're told it's about, because people are starting to question things. So they have fear of the virus. Very strange. After 9 months, people still don't question things. That's very odd. It's actually very sad, and it's really, really, really odd that after so many months, people just would not take it upon themselves to look at things a little bit deeper. Even, they are just not inquisitive. They just live in that mindset. But even if they have a fear of the virus, which, whatever, I can understand that if they don't know what's going on. But you should ask your friends and family, do you think it makes sense for them to control what you're able to purchase? How does that stop the virus? How does it stop the virus? It doesn't make any sense. I'm sure they have some kind of excuses, but it doesn't make any sense. So she's saying in northern Alberta, a lot of them are Indigenous. Mainstream media is all they listen to. Yeah, well, that's the problem right there. That's the big part of the problem. But like I said, you can be scared of the virus. I totally get that some people just think it's this thing. But don't they still get mad and wonder, what the hell's going on? Why is it that I can't? You're allowed to purchase alcohol and marijuana, but you're not allowed to go and purchase a laptop computer or some paper or scissors. Just, you know what I mean? It's just well, even if you think it's real, aren't you mad about not being able to get that's when it starts. That's when there should be They should start having cracks in the dam where it's just like, well, my daughter needs to have a coloring book. Why can't I get it? She can't go to school or whatever. And I want to get her this coloring book. How is this going to help anything if I'm not able to purchase this product? In any case, it should actually help because, of course, I'm spending more money in the economy, which will keep people employed and the corporations will make more money. Like, how is this a bad thing? I just don't understand their logic in it. That's what I don't understand. Why have a curfew when no one is doing much? Yeah, that's another thing. And what we all understand at the end of the day is it's all about control. It's not about the thing they're telling us. It just simply isn't. Once you start realizing there's a curfew and you can't buy certain things, and now we're having here restrictions over travel in British Columbia. It's like all these little steps. And also we can't go to church here. No one's allowed to go to church. No one's allowed to go to like dance classes and stuff like that, indoor spin classes. But like I said, school's open. Like I said in other videos, if this is a deadly disease, it's just simply deadly everywhere. It just doesn't. These viruses don't pick and choose, right? It's not like a virus that has an IQ of 120 where it's going to attack you just at certain locations. It's just a virus. It's just there's no logic. It just does what it does. There's no reason, no rhyme or reason for the way these rules are being implemented. And then you have to ask yourself, well, why doesn't it make sense? And if it doesn't make sense, these people are experts. They should know what they're doing. So if they don't know what they're doing, is it either because they're incompetent or is there something else going on here? And this is where people have a really tough time taking that. They have a tough time taking that next step, that next leap. Well, they wouldn't do it. What do you mean? They wouldn't do that. What are you talking about? This is a virus. But if it's a virus, you can close down the church, but the school's open? That makes sense to you. In your mind, you think that's okay. How is that? Oh, it's because the kids aren't super spreaders. Yeah, but they're just kids, so, well, they have a stronger immune system. So anyone under 18 has a stronger immune system. So people from 20 to 30 don't have a stronger immune system? Like, this is where you have to start actually asking some questions just through your mind and saying, well, it really doesn't make much sense, but I don't think they would do anything bad to us, would they? And that's the problem. They don't have that leap where they can actually start saying to themselves, well, it doesn't make sense, and why is that? Like being more upfront and honest with themselves, saying it doesn't make sense. Something doesn't make right. Something's not right here. I don't know what it is. Let me start reading online. Maybe those conspiracy people have something legitimate with their concerns. Maybe something isn't right. They just don't make that step. And that's the problem. And it's like right there. I'm like, it's right there. Just ask that question. But there's like a blinder that's blocking them from going to that next level. And it keeps them in that state of fear. Because once you ask a question, you find out the truth. What happens? You're fucking mad. You're mad. You're fuming mad. And then you want to know more. Well, if they lied about this, well, maybe they lied about this other stuff then. And maybe then you're just going right down the rabbit hole. And you're like, oh my God, everything we've ever learned and known about is a lie. And that's the problem. Some people just don't want to take the leap. They're scared. They're ignorant. They're not intelligent. Some people, these are all different types of people. A lot of people that are intelligent simply won't take that next step to question authority. They'll never do it. They just put their guard down and they rely on their experts. And this is the biggest problem I see is people relying on so-called experts who continuously flip-flop on their message for the last 9 months. It's just incredible to see the human psyche working for the last 9 months and how people just, their conclusions about things are so illogical. It's just completely mind-boggling. It's just weird. What are people saying here? Smaller towns really bully each other if they don't follow the rules. Yeah, well, that doesn't work with me. I'll just keep screaming at everybody. I agree there is no logic. Curfew in London, UK never stopped. Never stops raining hardly, so who cares? People not wearing masks a lot in the streets. Supermarket security, don't tackle me about not wearing a mask. Most people know it's a scam. Well, that means more people have to start standing up in the UK and everywhere. All the mind fuck. Yes, it is. Technology has made people lazy. The MSM will think for me. LOL. Well, that's part of the problem, right? Is people just. But the thing is, once you give your power away, this is like a very dangerous and very, very slippery slope. What can happen is incredible. I don't even know. Did I talk about British Columbia yesterday? I can't remember if I did. Yeah, I don't remember if I talked about BC. Let me just double check. My mind's all over the place. I just can't honestly think properly anymore with all this stuff going on and just being in the middle of this mess on a constant basis, wondering what they're going to come and say the next night and so forth. Like, just nuts. So, no, actually, I didn't talk about that. Okay. So let's talk about BC restrictions. BC restrictions. Okay, 1 second here. Just going to share this with everybody. Oops. So, British Columbia also brings in sweeping restrictions yesterday. You know, they always say it's 2 weeks, it's 2 weeks. Dr. Bonnie Henry came on television 13 days ago stating, oh, you know, this is only going to be for 2 weeks. And of course, she didn't even last 2 weeks until she made her newest announcement with more restrictions. So people who think this is just, oh, it's temporary, it's like, please understand, this is not temporary. I know it's hard for people to understand that. It's sad and it is depressing that we're losing all of our rights, and these people that we trusted all these years since we were born are basically putting a knife in our back. But that's exactly what's happening. And you need to come to grips with it so then you can start standing up and discussing this and talking about it. Like, this is the new stuff they have now. So, social lockdown extended to December 7 across the province. High-risk fitness activities are suspended. Dr. Donkey announced wide-ranging new rules for controlling the spread, including mandatory masks in all public and retail spaces, something she said she would never mandate, but now she did, and restricting social gatherings to household members only for everywhere across BC. The new orders and guidelines come as one person died, another 538 cases of the disease. So, look at that number. One person died, one. And now 538 cases, but of course most cases are asymptomatic. The person who died, they didn't say how old she was, how old the person was, or if they had underlying issues. We're seeing an increased community transmission and effects in our hospitals and all over the province. We need to relieve the stress of our healthcare system, or else people with all types of urgent care needs will suffer. This is the same spiel that she talked about back in March, and now we're going through the same crap once again. So a person in their 30s died from the virus, proving that no one is invulnerable to COVID. So someone in their 30s, they don't say if it's a male or female, they don't say if they have underlying issues. Like, the story is so vague. And the thing is that even true? And if it is, how many people in their 30s have died in all of British Columbia? 1, 2, 3? This is over 9 month period, right? Everything sounds very scary if you just look at it at face value. And that's why you have to ask those questions. Ask real questions. How old were they? Did they have underlying issues? Like, what else is there? Like, were they smokers? Were they healthy people? Were they overweight? Like, what else is going on here? Did they come in contact with someone? Where did they go? Like, right? You know, it's just... She also reversed course on long-standing resistance to public mask mandates. So now you have to wear masks everywhere. Meanwhile, in the beginning of all this, she stated that you don't have to wear masks everywhere, but now you do. You know, these people just flip-flop like idiots. It's just, they're such bullshitters. I'm going to have to share that with you because I think it's important that I share this particular video with you that my wife sent me from Dr. Bonnie Henry, where she actually literally stated that masks don't work or they're not necessary. Let me just copy this. And then I'll just text it to my wife. Actually, I'll send it to somewhere else here. And then you can listen. This is important because a lot of people just don't understand basically the level of lies and the level of stuff that just doesn't make any sense. Here it is. Copy link. Okay. So this is a Facebook video from Dr. Donkey Henry. So this is, I don't know. I don't know when this video is taken. Anyways, let's listen. 43 seconds. Let me see if it's on. Okay, perfect. Great. Make this bigger. So did you hear that, everybody? Does everybody see that? Does everybody understand why I get mad when you're trusting these people? What's your excuse for Dr. Donkey now? Oh, she found some new evidence that masks work. She's been in the field for 30 years at least. Do you think that she would have known this a long time ago? She's not the only health official that's flip-flopped on masks. Also, Dr. Fauci said the exact same thing. You can't hear it? No sound? Oh, shit. Okay, let me just fix that. Sorry, guys. Dang it. Fucking shit. Hopefully this works again. Let's just try to share the screen. Does that work? Dang it. This thing's weird. It's buggy now. It's like it doesn't let me change. Yeah, shit. Yeah, sorry about that. I can't fix it because just the way it works, it just doesn't. The stupid software, it's not working properly somehow. So it's like, if it doesn't work, then let me just try one more time. That sucks. Anyways, Dr. Bonnie Henry said that you don't have to wear masks are unnecessary to wear unless you're sick, and you don't have to wear them outside. That's what she said. But of course, the sound isn't working on that particular page. I hate when the software that does this stuff. Put the link in the comments. That's a brilliant idea. I will do that right now. So the link will be in the comment section. Thanks, Lonnie. Anyways, yeah, you can look at that. It's only a 40-second video, but this is like the flip-flopping these people do, right? And we're supposed to trust our daily lives and 9 months of our life, our whole economy, our whole way of life in British Columbia from Dr. Donkey Henry. And this is the kind of crap she does. 9 months, oh, don't wear a mask in the beginning. Now it's like, oh, no, wear a mask everywhere. Now they're mandatory inside. It's like, where are you getting your talking orders from? Because how can you flip-flop so badly on something like that? If it's a mask, you should realize if it saves lives or not. You should realize if it works or not. You don't just come on TV as the chief medical officer of British Columbia and say, don't wear a mask, and then later you flip-flop and say, wear a mask. And now, well, we don't have to, I don't want to make it, we don't have to make it mandatory indoors. And then later on, we have to make, I'm going to make it mandatory everywhere. Like, what's going on here? And this is where people, they just don't have that will to ask questions. Like, what the hell is going on? Fauci said people need masks even after the vaccine. I know, I've heard that too. And this is where like, I'm losing my mind over this stuff because this should be so easy to defeat. There's just so many lies here, but people just continuously keep worrying about what are the cases today? Oh, what did she say we can do? What's closed? Like, why don't you just forget about what Dr. Donkey's telling you what to do and just do whatever it is you want to do? Because obviously she just does whatever she wants, telling you not to wear a mask and then telling you to wear a mask and so forth. And this is all across the world, not just here. They want to confuse people. People have been confused since they were born in this world. They just don't know anything, but they think they're super informed because they listen to Dr. Donkey Henry and all the health officers wherever you're located. It's the same story, right? This is a script running across the world. Okay, so California. See, I can't even share it now. Dang it. But anyways, California is imposing what they call limited curfew. Everything's limited or temporary, or just they call the new word is the circuit breaker. Oh, it's only 6 days. We're going to lock down everything really hardcore just for 6 days. Well, I thought it took 2 weeks in order to get rid of the virus. 2-week incubation. If you come back from a flight, you have a 2-week quarantine. But now they have circuit breakers for 6 days. This is another weird one. But of course, they just make it, we're going to be really hardcore for 6 days, which they do. But then after the 5th day, well, the cases are still rising. We made a mistake, so we're going to have to go on for another 2 weeks. And then they just keep going and dragging and dragging and dragging. And this is where people make excuses. They're like, well, they're doing the best they can. It's like, yeah, they're doing the best they can to destroy our economy and ruin our way of life and basically make us as depressed as possible if you haven't figured it out yet. But of course they don't. And the funny thing is Gavin Newsom, the guy who's he's the one who's making all these restrictions. He's the one who's mandating a curfew in California from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. This guy was caught in Hawaii with a bunch of other officials and stuff like that at a restaurant. He wasn't social distancing. They weren't wearing masks when they were in the restaurant next to each other. No social distancing whatsoever. So it's like, Gavin, do you actually think this is a real thing or not? No, you don't, do you? But you're still playing this game, BSing everyone. A state that has, over 30 million people, almost 10% of the American population, the same population almost as Canada. And, people are looking to you to be honest and have real leadership. Meanwhile, there is so much sneaky crap going on that most people would just drop their jaw if they realized it. And this is the massive part of the problem. They just don't understand. Well, why would they do that? I don't know why they do that. Are they getting kickbacks? Are they getting blackmailed? We don't know what's going on. Are they getting paid off? But something isn't right. Especially when you go to a restaurant like the governor of California did, and no social distancing, but he wants to have a curfew all throughout California, lock down over 30 million people. And that's okay, from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. These are serious questions that people are slowly starting to ask. And I know it's tough. I understand. I get mad at, I keep saying my whole thing, friends, family, and people from my kids' school, all that stuff. It's like, I have to give them more of a break because they haven't read all the stuff that I have. They find it hard to believe. And, it's going to take them some time to get up to speed. But once they do, all hell's going to break loose. These people are going to be so pissed. They're going to be as pissed as me and you are right now. David Icke thinks they want to extinguish all natural life forms. Well, it seems like they actually are doing that, and they definitely want to. Hello, hi Rose. An alien agenda. Well, I don't know about that or not, but then if you look at it in one way, you think of hell and heaven, Satan and God and demons and stuff like that. Demons are basically another form of alien. So it doesn't really matter. Like, I'm not thinking green men and stuff like that, but I'm thinking about different dimensions and stuff like that. Like, if you're a religious person, or if you're a spiritual person, you shouldn't be rolling your eyes at this stuff. You can just say it's instead of an alien agenda, a satanic agenda, a demonic agenda. That's how I view what's going on here. It's good and evil is basically at war right now, and people just don't want to see it. Especially if you're non-religious, then you're like way off the boat. And I'm not saying religion is the be-all end-all, but come on, there's other stuff at play here. This is not just humans doing all of this stuff, and I don't want to get into the whole thing. I don't want to get, you know what I mean? But it's the same thing. Aliens and demons and Satanism is the same stuff. People, heaven and hell. Hell's below us, heaven's above us. They teach us that. This is the same kind of stuff. Different wording for the same thing. So California's on lockdown, but it's funny, not all of it. In Orange County and Sacramento, they're not on lockdown. Those areas refuse to lock down. It's funny because Orange County, I read years ago, it's basically a suburb of Los Angeles, more affluent area. That's where you get the Real Housewives of Orange County coming from, that reality show. This area of California or LA is the least vaccinated area. Okay, I'm going to explain a couple things here. These people are very rich in Orange County, and I'm going to say a couple things. Not always the case, but rich people overall are usually tending not to always be smart, but if you have a certain amount of wealth, you're not a dummy. Let's put it that way. You're not stupid. Money just doesn't fall into your lap. You have to have some kind of knowledge in order to create substantial wealth. These are the same people in these communities in Orange County, the rich people, and they don't vaccinate their kids. This is the lowest rate of vaccination in Los Angeles is Orange County. And now, of course, this is the same area where they don't want to lock down. So grab a couple clues from the people in Orange County and realize vaccinations, no, big no-no. And lockdowns is another big no-no. And curfews, right? They don't want curfews. They don't want the curfews to happen. These aren't dumb people. They have enough intelligence to understand what's going on. They have enough intelligence to be rich and understand not to vaccinate their kids, and they don't want the curfews. So take that the way you will. I really don't care. But at the end of the day, Orange County knows what's up in regards to a lot of things. Orange County knows what's up. And I'm sure that's the same in any more of the affluent communities where they're more educated. They read more, they pay attention, they're more healthy, health conscious. They just pay attention more to themselves and everything around them, right? What else is there? You don't feel comfortable walking to stores anymore. Even everyone who wore a mask looks at you differently. It's not the same anymore. It actually pisses me off. Oh, hey, we're both in the same boat here. I feel the exact same way. I just stare at them. I look right at them, and I'll look at them. I went to a restaurant today with my kids and wife and stuff like that, and this guy was looking at him. He was wearing his mask, doing his bullshit, and I looked at him for probably about 3 seconds, and then he turned away. Bigger guy than me. Obviously, I'm not going to get any physical fights, but the point being, it's like, don't try to stare me down and give me your evil look. You have no clue what's going on, and you think that I'm the problem because I'm not wearing a mask, and that's absolutely not the truth. But if you want to believe the narrative, go ahead, but don't try to shame me with that weird, dirty look that you're giving me, because it doesn't work, and I'll just do the same nasty, dirty look at you. I do not care, and I am not the same person I was back in February. I'm much more vocal now, and I have no problem yelling at people. I have no problem telling people off. I have no problem explaining to people that this is not what they think it is. And I do it all the time, constantly, all the time. And it doesn't bother me. Before, I wouldn't say a word about anything, but I'm just so done with all this stuff. I don't care what people think about me, because, of course, people aren't thinking. They're just not thinking. So you know what I mean? Bill Gates had private meetings with all the provinces and the mayors of the big cities. I wonder why. Yeah, I heard that too. He did Zoom meetings, I'm pretty sure. They almost do double takes. You ignore them. You know what? Either stare them down or just ignore them. If you're with your husband or need backup or whatever, then feel free to stare at them. If you have someone next to you that's going to back you up, your husband or even just a friend. Some people just don't want to do that alone, obviously. I understand. Sometimes the women will attack other women more, and men will attack other women more because, they feel it's easier. I haven't had too many problems because I'll just tell people off. I really don't care. Am I in Vancouver? Yes, I'm in Vancouver. In Vancouver, where everything is upside down like we're everywhere else, but as we can see, the rollout is different everywhere. Also, now they've got lockdowns in Toronto. I wish I could bring this up. I don't know why this stupid software screws up. Pisses me off. Yeah, Bill Gates never wears a mask. I know. I look at them right in the eyes as well, but when there's one of you without a mask and a whole clan with mask, it's a little difficult. Yeah, I still do it, but I understand what you're saying. You have to be at the level of anger that I'm at, and then you don't really care. Like you just don't care. I'm not gonna get physical, but I'll just I'll tell people off and stuff. I just don't care. Not that I'm looking for an argument overall, but at this point in the game, it's been 9 months, and they never told us to wear these stupid masks in the beginning, but now everyone, because they continuously follow the world, or not the World Health Organization, but the medical experts. Just now they're telling you to wear masks and stuff like that, so everyone thinks it's such a great idea. They just keep, oh well, they're the experts. I'm going to keep following them. Like, are you going to follow them off of a cliff? Like, when are you going to start asking some questions? And the answer really is we don't know when these people are going to get a clue as to what's happening. It has to get worse before it gets better. It has to affect people personally. A lot of people simply aren't mad enough, and that's basically a problem. Once you're mad, then you'll start speaking up for yourself. Once you're mad, then you will basically stop following all this garbage. And I've been at that point for 9 months. I've been at that point for 9 months. Other people haven't. So we have to wait for them to catch up to us in regards to our knowledge base. Even just don't even have to know everything that we do, but just understand that you're being lied to, and everything is just going to continue as long as we let it. That's just the way it is, because it's not going to end. There's no way this is going to end. This has all been a planned agenda from day one. And, people just don't want to see it. It's hard for them to understand. Why would they do that? Well, sorry, but they are doing this. I don't know if you'd understand why, because you live in a different world than I do. Yours is a fairy tale land. Mine's more logical, and unfortunately, the logical part of this world is not as nice as you think it. You think it is. Let me just type in Ontario lockdown. No, Toronto lockdowns. Okay, so another CBC article. I wish I could show this to you. I'll try one more. I don't know why it doesn't let me, though. Share screen. Okay, it doesn't work. I don't know why. Try one more time, and then I'm going to stop doing that. Toronto Peel. COVID-19 lockdown. Is it working? Nope. That works. Anyways, okay, let's continue before I lose you guys. So it says here, Toronto moves into COVID-19 lockdown Monday as Ontario tries to stop worst case scenario. So this is all part of their plan. Open and close. It's just part of their plan. I don't know what else to say. They're moving into lockdown. And don't forget, the terminology for lockdown is something used in prison when you're locking all the prisoners in their cell. And so basically what we are in is an open air prison system. Why would they use that specific terminology? You have to understand, these people don't just pull out things out of their ass. They're using this for a specific reason. When they say lockdowns, it's because they view us as some kind of prisoners, slaves, that kind of thing. Like, this is where people start thinking, now you're a conspiracy theorist. Well, it's a term. They use it specifically for a reason. Okay, they don't just say lockdowns. Why don't they just say, they could use different terms that don't sound as drastic. Why are they making it sound so bad, right? Type thing. Anyways, so effective Monday. The Ontario needs to. Sorry, getting distracted because people are sending me texts. The shutdown is going to last a minimum of 28 days, and they're doing so a full lockdown, 28 days. And it says it will fine people $750 for violating public health rules. Well, we'll see how that goes, because I know every single weekend, just like here in Vancouver, they have anti-lockdown protests. So we'll see if they actually fine those protesters. I don't think they will. So they say they're moving to red zones. The lockdowns for Toronto includes no indoor gatherings with anyone outside their personal household. That's here. Individuals who live alone can have contact with one other household. That's here. Outdoor gatherings are limited to 10 people. I think here it's 5. Restaurants are limited to takeout, drive-through, and delivery only. Restaurants here in Vancouver are actually open. Religious services, funerals, and weddings are limited to 10 people indoors or 10 people outdoors. Well, you know what? Religious services are completely closed here. Gyms are closed there, but gyms are open here. Non-essential retails and malls are limited to curbside pickup only. Well, the malls here are actually open, as well as retail establishments. Personal care services, casinos, and bingo halls are closed. In Vancouver, personal care is open. Casinos have never been open since March, which I just don't even understand. Barely, it just makes no sense. Post-secondary institutions move to virtual instruction with some exceptions. Pharmacies, doctors, and dentists, grocery stores, essential services remain open. Schools will also remain open. So I don't know what I don't know what to tell you. 1 second here. So I just don't know what to say. It's just, we're not much better. They made it sound like it was worse in Toronto, but we have pretty drastic stuff here. Like the churches are closed here. We can't go to church, but the schools are open. Once again, let's use our mind and our critical thinking skills. A virus is a virus is a virus is a virus, meaning it's the same virus everywhere across the world, across different parts of our society. So how does it make sense? How does it make sense to anybody that the churches are closed, but then, well, bring your kids to school? That's not a problem. And then also the transit system, the SkyTrain's open, and also planes. You can actually fly internationally. Internationally are completely open. You have to wear a mask on the flight, but the seating is completely jam packed. How does it make sense? Is this logical to anybody? It doesn't make sense to me. And then, of course, you have to ask more questions. Well, if it doesn't make sense, what's actually happening here? We're going to have to see what's going to happen. I'm just waiting for other people to get mad. Like I said, I've been mad since day one. And I'm just waiting for other people to start cluing in. And there's not much more we can do for those people to wake up. You can share as much info with these people as possible. But if they're not open to it and they just think you're a nut job, they will not look at that. They will just dismiss it completely. It has to click for every single person individually. And the only way it does that is if they get mad or it affects them personally. That's when people start asking questions. Well, why can't I go to the gym? I love working out, now I can't. Or they close down my business. Like, what the hell? That doesn't make any sense. This is what has to happen. And that's basically why it actually has to get worse before it gets better. Because a lot of people just do not have the same amount of knowledge that you and me do. 1 sec, I got to close my window here. So we just have to be compassionate. Something I know I'm not very compassionate with people. I have a very short fuse, basically because I've known about this stuff for decades overall. And now to see it actually come into our lives is very hard for me to take. And it's gut-wrenching for me to actually see all of this play out while people everywhere just think this is like the worst thing ever. It is the worst thing ever, but it's the worst thing ever, not because of a virus, but because of what they claim to be a virus. And they implement the measures they're using is what scares me, is the bottom line. Yep. So let me see some of these comments here. Zombies everywhere with masks. As Agenda 30 is not a conspiracy theory. No, it's not. I did a video on that yesterday, and Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, stated, he was talking about, this is a great time to fast track our Agenda 21, Agenda 30 Great Reset program. You can see the video. They're installing 5Gs in the schools. I don't know if they've done that here yet, but I know they've been talking about that. The whole narrative makes no sense. No, it doesn't. You're right. They won't listen until drastic measures take place. I know. It's a sad state of affairs. So basically, we have to suffer so everybody else can get up to speed as to what the hell's really going on. So I predict that's going to happen sometime next year as this progresses and prolongs. But then by that time, they're going to have the vaccine. So are some of these maskers going to take the vaccine, and then who knows what the hell's going to happen to them? Probably. Life next year is going to get very crazy. Crazier than this year for sure, unfortunately, but that's just the way it is. I'll get really mad if I can't go to the park for fresh air and exercise. Well, that's what's happened in Australia. Well, they have like 1 hour exercise per day or some shit like that. It makes no sense for people like us who are all awake, but not to people who are sleeping. They think this is for real, a real scamdemic. Bonnie Henry, like all public servants, are order followers and do as they're told, or they'll get fired. Yeah, she's destroying our world. Virus came from China. Where is your mask made? China. Why are we bowing down? I don't know. Me and you aren't. A lot of people are. Wearing the face diaper lets them know how well the deception is working. Well, that's the thing, right? I've said that before in other videos. If they didn't have the face masks, people would basically, and they didn't have any of the stupid signage, you wouldn't even know anything was going on. That's what people have to realize. It's like, do you know anyone who's died from this? Do you know anyone who got sick from this personally? And like, did they have underlying issues and stuff like that? And how many people do you know personally? These are questions you have to ask. But if you didn't have the mask going on everywhere, you would forget about this in a second. That's why in the beginning, it didn't really bother me that much. Now it's just starting to kick in. It didn't bother me that much, this whole lockdown, because of course you'd go outside and, you didn't really see that many people with masks, mostly on, not being racist, but it was Asian people. And some of them have always worn masks and stuff like that. Whatever. But as the months progressed, the more and more masks, then I got more and more mad, more and more pissed off, because I just knew this was a sham. But if you didn't really see it in your face constantly, you kind of forgot about it. You're like, well, yeah, I go home, I see it on Facebook, I'll see it on the TV news. But when I go for a walk, I didn't see it. If I get in my car, nobody was driving around with a mask. Well, fast forward 9 months, like, it's the total opposite. Before it was like 5% of the population wearing masks. Now it's the opposite, where 5% of the population is not wearing masks. So it's completely reversed. And that's the reminder I don't want. And that's the reminder that NWO, New World Order, whoever you want to call them, Illuminati, just parasite scum, the elites, they want to keep us reminding us, and to have that visual representation of the case-demic in front of you on a constant basis reminds you, hey, you're in the middle of this big hoax. And then for other people, they're like, it reminds them they're in the middle of a pandemic type thing. They think it's real, right? So that's why they want to mandate masks. They want to keep the fear going. And if there's something to remind you of what's going on, well, it works pretty well. You know what I mean? It really helps their situation become that much more believable, because, hey, everybody's wearing masks. How come you're not? You could die. You should do that for other people as well. You better stay safe and wear the mask. And if you don't, you're going to get a fine. It's weird how things have progressed into this weird, completely illogical situation we find ourselves in. It's draining. I'm actually kind of tired. I'm going to take a nap in a bit. And if masks work, then why are there increased cases? Exactly. Oh, it's because, there was a party in, Surrey, which is a suburb of Vancouver, and there was a lot of Indian people not social distancing. There's, and they're the ones to blame. And they've said that, right? It's South Asian communities that have big parties and big households, they said. So they're blaming East Indians. Last night's television news here in Vancouver, they're trying to blame it kind of on the anti-lockdown protests. And as this continues, they're going to demonize our movement more and more, because, of course, we're the ones who are speaking up. We're the ones basically saying, hey, you know what, this is not real. So they want to get us to submit. They want to basically blame us for any new cases that come up. It's going to be our fault. Meanwhile, I've never gotten sick from going to these marches, and I've been going since April, like I said. So if anybody would have gotten sick by now, it would be me. And, I've hung out with thousands of people, not like talked to every single one, but there have been thousands of people in the same area that I have been at these marches. I don't hear about cases and stuff like that. How about the homeless people downtown? I've done a video of that. I went to the downtown east side. No one's dying from COVID down. They're dying all right. They're not dying from COVID. They're dying for drug overdoses from fentanyl. But like I said, these people are homeless. These people share needles. They share, well, they don't have baths. They don't wash their hands. They're not hygienic at all, right? They don't have showers for days on end, sometimes weeks. They probably have a low compromised immune system. They're drug addicts. They live on the streets, but no one's dying of COVID down there. Like, there's so many red flags that this thing is bullshit. You have to be willfully ignorant if you cannot understand and see for yourself how ridiculously stupid this is. It's just such a bad lie. And the fact that everybody's going along with it is actually so scary. I never in a million years would think that people I know and just people I don't know would fall for this hook, line, and sinker and continue to fall for it so many months later. I think it's just a perception coming from the media and just the way they present everything has got people whipped up into this fear. But then if you step away from the television, you step away from all the drama, how they try to make it seem like it's this big bad boogeyman, you go into a quiet room and just sit there with your own thoughts and just go through things in your mind. It really is very easy to break all of this apart. It's just very easy for me. And I'm not a super genius. I don't know what the hell my IQ is. I was like a C student in high school. I hated school. But now I'm doing good for myself. But that's a different story. But you just, the smartest people I know still are falling for it. So it's not about intelligence. It's about the critical thinking and other things. Maybe people's upbringing, their personalities. Like, I just don't know what it is. How some people understand it very quickly and other people just refuse to look at it at all. It's just the human mind is very interesting. If the virus is so deadly, then why are there no biohazard bins for masks and gloves? Exactly, American taxpayer. And, we all see the same thing. We see, every time I go for a walk around my neighborhood, everybody sees this, guaranteed. You guys are probably going to reply in a second. But what do you see? You see masks everywhere, all over the streets. Those stupid blue, those baby blue bullshit masks. These selfish pricks, they throw these masks out, they throw the gloves out and stuff like that all over the ground. How about the birds? These animals, because that's a little loop, right? They got the elastic band that can get stuck around a bird's neck, and they're going to be flying with a surgical mask around their neck. They can die. But these assholes, these maskers, these mask holes, they're so selfish and in fear and just not thinking. They don't even think twice about those poor birds and poor animals that can easily, they can die if that's stuck around their neck for a long period of time, right? It's probably not going to happen a lot. But in the same token, if you're worried about yourself getting a virus, aren't you worried about the environment? You just throw it on the ground and stuff. It's weird the way they think. And yes, biohazard bins. And in all honesty, if this was really a deadly virus like they want us to believe, shouldn't people be wearing those weird hazmat suits and crazy ventilators instead of a stupid blue mask? Or really, you can put anything on your face and they pretty much leave you alone because, you have something on your face, you're good. So it's like, is that all you want? Is something on my face? It doesn't really matter what the hell it is. So is it about a virus then or not? A couple more messages here. Brainwashing. Any good gyms open in Vancouver still? Yeah, there's gyms. There's one on Hastings called Easy Fit. It's a decent gym, and it's on the second. Hastings and Gilmore. Easy Fit in Burnaby. I think there's Trevor Linden down on Low Heat Highway in Burnaby. Depends what part of the city. You could probably just Google it and find out. Just a bunch of hearsay when you hear about cases. You never actually see anyone catch this so-called virus. Exactly. Where are all these people getting the disease? Where are they? I don't see. They never interview these people. You never hear about it. It's just them coming on telling you this. So is it actually happening, or are they just lying to us? And actually, I was supposed to go down to the COVID testing center in Burnaby Central Park because my friend told me there was when he drove by a couple of days ago, there was a huge lineup. So I just want to go down there and see if there's how many people, how many cars are in these lineups, and just document some of this stuff. I find it fascinating that people actually go and get tested. And I've known people myself who've done that, which is kind of a shocker, but weird. If the virus is, yeah, we already read that one. Who says COVID is no worse than the cold or regular? World Health Organization says COVID-19 is no worse than the cold or regular flu. You'd wonder why tuberculosis is on the rise, but ignored practically. And who gives a damn about Fukushima? Yeah, it's not about intelligence. My brother-in-law is a lawyer and he believes it. I know. There's different. That's the thing, though. There's different types of intelligence. I think common sense is a really good indicator of intelligence. Obviously, you have, people who are smart when it comes to book smarts and academic intelligence, and then you have people who are good with their hands. That's another form of intelligence. So there's a lot of different forms of intelligence, but they always make it seem like the doctors and the lawyers are the smartest people in the room, which not really the case. We've all been hoodwinked into believing that, but I think a lot of us here are probably smarter than a lot of doctors or lawyers. Well, when it comes to common sense, we definitely are, right? Haven't worn a mask all year, and I don't plan on it. Me either. Oh, you're in the West End. I don't know. There should be gyms downtown, I would think. Broadway, even. I'm not really sure. Just check around. Not really sure. The mask rules all. Can you imagine all the pollution in the waterways? Mask and rubber gloves. It's gross. 9/11 woke you up. My sister ran to get tested when she had a cold coming along because she was worried about the COVID. That's the thing. All these people now, they're just paranoid about getting COVID, but most of these people are not going to die. Come on. Unless you're like 83 years old and living in a care home and you have underlying issues, you're not going to get sick and die. But fear has taken hold. Everyone should just close their bloody TVs. That's the best thing they can do. But of course, the chances of that happening are pretty much slim to none. Oh boy. I think that's about it. I just wanted to get on here because I was like pretty pissed off. I don't know. It's harder to be happy when all this crap is going on. You actually know the truth and you see everybody else around you believing this is a legitimate thing. It's like it's not legitimate. Sorry to say, but you're getting hoodwinked, and we're not going to get back to normal until people or enough people realize what the hell is going on. Fear. Oh, it's all about fear. This whole thing is fear-based system. There is no other reason for it than that. Let me just see here. We started at what time? 3:20 to 4:20. That's an hour or so. Anyways, I'm going to wrap it up. I just wanted to give you a daily. It's not supposed to be a daily update. I wanted to give you an update. Love your content. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. I'm just speaking from the heart because in all honesty, in a way, my friend was saying, it's just therapeutic to kind of talk about this. Not like that we like talking, but just to get it out. Because in the beginning, I was keeping it all in. I was getting more and more angry. When I do this stuff, it helps to just get the aggression out, even though I'm not screaming. Because it's hard when you know the truth, and keeping it bottled up is not a good thing to do. It's very draining on my soul. It sucks the life out of me. This whole situation has just completely sucked the life out of me, as with other people. But when you actually know what's going on, like all of us do. Oh, I already did put the link in there, didn't I? I'll put the link in there again. Yeah, it just sucks the life right out of me. It's just hard to be too happy. So here's the link to Dr. Bonnie Henry's video where she says that you don't need to wear masks. So share that. Oh, people, yeah, they probably already are because they're going to be dying from the flu vaccine as well because they've been pushing the flu vaccine all the last few months, and everyone's been going out waiting in line to get the flu vaccine, not realizing, you know what, you're going to get the flu from the flu vaccine, and then you might die from the flu. And then, of course, they're going to label that flu death as COVID. Perfectly planned, right? The day when I cannot go to a store and breathe like a normal human being is a very sad day. It is. It really is. The Swedes don't wear masks, no lockdown, no social distancing, no widespread cases. It's running parallel with flu shot season. The poor people will be dying from the flu and pneumonia vaccines. Exactly. They said wave 2 was coming. They said that way back in March, And they said wave 2 will come in the winter. Well, is this the first year we've ever had the flu season? Of course not. And it's just like I said, there's so many different layers to this BS that are so easy to understand, but people just don't see it. And we have to wait until they actually understand what's going on and realize that you're being hoodwinked and none of this is real. It's just not a real thing. It's a flu. It's just a flu. It's a stronger strain of the flu, but it is just a bloody effing flu. God gave you an immune system and Satan offers his satanic alternative. Yeah, the virus. Thank you. It helps to talk about it with like-minded people. Well, appreciate you coming, Aura. I'm sure everybody else here appreciates it as well. You know, more of us are waking up every day and understanding what's going on. We just have to be strong for our friends and family and everybody else who still thinks this is a virus. Keep preaching the truth as I am, because eventually it's going to click, because lies are always going to be lies. And this is like the biggest lie the world's ever seen. And they're trying to cover their lies with more lies. Like, it's so illogical at this point. In all honesty, everyone should have understood it. But of course, they just can't believe this is happening. They don't understand how this is possible if it's a worldwide thing, and they don't understand why these elected officials, why would they do this to us? You know, why would these health officials basically try to destroy our world and our health? I thought they were doctors. I thought they were there to help us. Once you understand there's corruptions at all different industries, different levels of society, you know, there's not just the mafia. There's people way above the mafia, and you're looking at the people way above the mafia right now, and they have to understand that, but they will eventually, hopefully sooner than later, because it's hard to live in this world the way all this crap is. I think I'm going to wrap it up here. The great deception is foretold in Scripture. Pharmakia, yeah. Anyways, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great weekend. Hopefully I don't come on here and bitch. I'm going to go to the rally, No New Normal rally. That's every single Sunday at the Vancouver Art Gallery. I'm going to go this week because I just feel I kind of feel like I should be there. I think it's important as this continues to progress. I think it's important more and more people come to these marches, even if you don't want to, and it's getting colder. You know what? What else are we supposed to do here? Either we sit at home, we can't really go anywhere else, or we go outside. So I figured I might as well go out there and hang out with some people that are like-minded, and try to make a difference, and just try to figure out solutions, and just try to build a community of people who understands truly what's going on in the world. Anyways, that's about it. See you guys. Hopefully some of you guys who live in Vancouver region at the march. I think it starts at 12 at the Vancouver Art Gallery, and that's every single weekend now. The Super March are having a big Super March December the 5th. So that's about it. Sorry, I keep getting interrupted because I keep getting bloody text messages, and it screws it with my train of thought when I hear that stupid bing bong. I feel like I'm in a casino. Anyways, have a great day. Thanks for everybody who tuned in. I appreciate it as always. Please share this everywhere you can. Let's help get the word out and try to inform all our friends and family as to what's really going on in the world. Not to what they think is going on, but what actually really is truly going on. It's different from what they think. They're living a lie. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend. All the best.